Greetings, my name is Rave Namani, and I'm here for the kickoff of the True Friend series. Here with my firstborn, JSK, aka Jordan.
I'm here. Glad to be, you know.
All right, so True Friend. True Friend is my brand new single that we just released. Being distributed by Music Specialist. It was produced by Taddy P, and it's being marketed and promoted by Georgia Music. That's our label. For those who don't know, Georgia Events Media is the business behind Jamaica's Best School Band, Rave Namani Music, Sip and Link, and all the great events and products that we have. All right, so he's not only my son, you could say he's my business partner, my pari sometimes, and my friend. Best friend? What do you say, Jay? Friend.
Um, Friend, yeah,
Because at this
consider
point, at this point, do you need more parenting? Would you say you need more parenting?
parenting. I always need parenting, in some retrospect, because you have lived more life than me, so you'd have more experience. But no, i- if you want just a stagnant answer, no. But he,
I know you just say no. As at my big kid, me still feel like me need parenting. At some point, I'm like, oh Jesus, life a life a box me, life a beat me. Me just want the parents.
yeah,
But yeah, true friend, someone who provides unwavering support, honesty, and loyalty. Regardless of circumstances, they are trustworthy, compassionate, and genuinely care for your well being. True friends are those you can confide in, rely on, and who will always have your back. So that's the definition of true friend from Google, right? So just to go back a bit, in writing um, the song first came to me when I was at the Bob Marley One Love movie. And just start watch the movie and the idea came to me. But from what I could tell from the movie, it's like Rita was one of Bob's best friend, true friend. Yes, she was a wife, mother to his children, all of the other titles. But at the core of their relationship, they had a solid friendship. That's what I got from it, from the little bit of it that I saw, because all the ideas was just coming to me. So that's kind of the genesis of this song, True Friend. And I feel like
yeah,
because in this space now we always hear about the bad mind and the jealousy and the grudge and the friend enemy, and friendships and relationships don't really is not really long lasting these days. I look at my parents' generation and you have quite a lot of long standing relationships, long standing friendships, but for as we progress, get more modern as they say, I feel like friendships are not as long standing, not as solid. So you can give me from your perspective, as I say, because you are younger than me. I'm your mother, and we want to have a little chit chat about the friends that how you see friendship. Do you value friendship? Do you think it's a needed part? 'Cause you have people who say them no want no friend. Them want to go through life solo. But how you see it?
yeah. Well, it's all about the expectation because you have different levels to a friendship. If it's just friendship in the sense where you just connect up whenever you connect up. That can be fine. You're not expecting nothing from that person but a vibe whenever you're in a link up. So you have that kind of friendship, and you have the friendship where you want to bare your soul to that person. You want that person to be the one to hear you out whenever you want to vent, whenever you have your back is against the wall, whenever you want a way out or some level of perspective from another side. So it's all about the expectation. Is a friendship needed? Are friendships needed? Yes, definitely. No man is an island. No one can go through this life alone. I wouldn't encourage anyone to go through this life alone. You know, it's tricky and it's long. It long enough. Them say life short, but it long enough, man. It long enough, and the
Mm-hmm.
journey is a bumpy one. So in light of that, they have to have the friendships, the necessary friendships. That is a
Right.
key and important to add to the sauce. That it has to be a necessary friendship. There are some friendships that are not necessary, and I guess for those people, you really don't speak to them um, ever. If ever, you probably just see them on it's a good morning and are here. And I guess those
Right.
won't be friendships. It would have been more
Right. So as a
associations and
point
stuff like that.
here, I have a point here. There is true friend, and then there's long suffering friend. Me in
Yeah,
particular, I prefer to be a true friend, not a long suffering friend. Meaning
yeah,
that as we life is about transitions and growing and evolving, and some of us can remain stuck, you know, stuck in
yeah,
whatever trauma, stuck in whatever, you know, rut, you know, and we just refuse to move and to progress and to, elevate. And then to expect one to be a friend just through any and everything. I don't know if that's really what the essence of true friendship is. So we really want to touch on that. That is not really a thing where we just make endless sacrifice and endless compromise all the while. And if you can do that and to the level at which you can do that, then that determines that you're a true friend. Ah, no, we want to be able to say, listen, say you're not, that is what you're doing is not giving you the outcome, the best outcome. So change that. Do something different. Some people who can keep you accountable, people who can hold up the mirror and say, listen, look, that road, nobody go down this song. Right?
yeah,
That you want that type of friendship there. It's not just about just going along to get along and boy, because me just agree with everything you say, yeah, you are my friend, you know?
yeah,
So we bring it back now to us as mother and son, when you are younger, we say we have to be parents, we have to teach you, we have to raise you, have to, school you. I don't know, you did get no flick, me no remember. I remember. You ever
not
get
really.
this from me?
Yeah, you beat me up until me a 9 year old. I always tell people that
Me
story.
beat you up until you're 9 year old?
Yeah, yeah, of
Jesus.
course.
I don't remember. I don't recall. But
I
anyways,
don't know
yeah,
what changed when me a 9 year old, but me a 9 year old, me don't
nine.
get no more beating. Yeah,
Well,
so,
to be clear, you are my firstborn, and so they never come with manual parenting. Never come with manual, and I didn't have much of a support system. And I think we talked about this already. You don't know if you remember.
mhm,
We didn't have much of a support system, and so I was winging it a lot and made it under pressure. Under pressure meaning, you know, things never so 100 financial wise. You weren't planned. And so we
yeah,
did under pressure. And so I feel like enough of the times, it wasn't even say they deserve a spanking or a beating, but some of the pressure did I get thrown off on you, for real. Looking back in hindsight, we can say that no. And so,
Yeah.
but it was always love still, and it was always the fact that you is a boy child, and we want you to grow up in a way that you can manage yourself and you can handle life um, in all its facets, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So that was always in the back of my head to make sure that me not grow you soft and me not grow you, you know, all of that,
Yeah.
all of all of that was in the mix. But here we are. You're grown now, big man, orchestrating and curating your own life experiences. How would you say me afraid to ask a question, but I'm gonna ask it. I go, scare up my shoulder.
Mm.
How would you rate my parenting?
Out of what 10?
10 out of 10, yeah.
I give it a 10. I can't give it less than a 10. More the ask for a different um, outcome or a different way of brought up, say, so to speak, or anything like that. Um, I, looking back, I don't know. Well, the regrets would come from my side, but I don't have any um, thing to ponder on our quest and um, you know. So only, unless we are got a TikTok trend where we see people are say why them parents never capture piece of land and them someday why you never capture piece of land. so, so but no can't something different.
Okay.
Um,
All right.
yeah.
So we are essentially here about True Friend, the song as well. And we we have a cover art now done by Jay, of course. And it was a series of concepts and brainstorming to come up with the cover art. At first, my idea was to do the cover art with me, you, and Jaylon, right? And because I feel like where we are now at our stages in life, we are more friends more than me. I'm your parent at this point. And so we did that and we had it already. But when we went to do the shoot, um, basically the videographer say nobody now go relate to that to say them know that you both are my sons and nobody no think say we can be true friends. Nobody think parent, mother and sons are parents and children can be true friends. What you say about that?
It depends on the way in which the child was grown or raised or brought up. You know, it all depends on that because you have parents with the belief that because like for instance, whenever I was around that the method of what do I call it parenting was children should be seen and not heard, right? Children shouldn't be in big people business. Children, anything you hear, better pretend you never hear it, right? Or just forget it same speed. So it was like that. While around you, it was more like um, what's going on with you. You can express yourself. You can talk. You can relax. You don't have to be tense. Um, and stuff like that. Um, so
Mm.
it 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 varies. It really depends on the autopsy. What I disagree with the videographer, of course, because you know that throughout my high school life, you were um, my one of my biggest friends. You were the person I spoke with have phone calls and stuff like that. Whenever there's anything to discuss and stuff like that, we will have some real reasoning. So, I would definitely be disagreeing with the videographer there. But there's always a different perspective on both sides. I always try to be an advocate, or play devil's advocate, so to speak, to just
Yeah, and
balance the scale.
I feel like as it is, we kind of stuck together in this life. I'm not having any
Mhm.
more children as it is. So you and Jalen will always be my sons. I will always be your mother. Yes, you can have step and whatever other variations of a mother figure, but I will always be for as long as life be your mother, and that's a role that I've taken very seriously, and me always feel like me have to have my back. Me always feel like it's not even a duty, it's just something that is innate. It's just something that comes naturally where me always want the best for both of you. Like it's natural. It goes without saying. It's like second nature. It, if anything else fails, if all fails, to can know say me want the best that life has to offer for both of you. And will do all in my power to ensure that and see to it. Right? For all the business is that we attempt, all the things that we do is always geared to ensure that we are setting ourselves up for the best life experiences. You know? So at this point, I feel like we have the best reasonings, we have the best conversations, we can talk about just about anything, but we still keep it. There's always a boundary there where, we don't know, thankfully, we don't do enough things we don't do around me. I'm grateful for that. There's still a level of respect. There's
Yeah,
still a level of respect, right? So as long as you're keeping parents, as long as you can keep the boundaries clear and there is respect on both ends, then I feel like friendship at this stage of the game is the best, is the best thing. But we are here
yeah,
about, as I said, the True Friend song. So if you haven't checked it out as yet, the editor is gonna put the song somewhere in the background here. You can listen. You can tell us what your favorite line of the song is. We're going to want you to share your true friend story if you have persons in your life that you consider to be true friends, meaning solid people, genuine people, not just here for the good times, but also for the bad times. Because life is that ups, downs, twists, turns, is never one smooth straight road. It's full of ups and downs and twists and turns,
yeah,
so we'll always need people in our corner. No matter how you feel like you have it all figured out. And because that again too, the older we get, we always feel like we have life all figured out. Especially when you are in your teens. You're no longer in your teens, but I feel like say it out stage where you think say me know it everything and you don't know nothing. Right? But I must give you props that I feel like you listen to me sometimes.
listen all the time, man. All the time.
Well, since Jalen is not here to defend himself, we won't touch on whether he listens or not. But yeah, so here is a good question now. Do you feel comfortable talking to me about important things?
You mean like rate it from a out of 10, or it's just a general question?
That's a general question. If you feel comfortable talking to me about important things.
Yeah, decision making. If it's decision making, yeah, yeah. I am a person who try to get the people I believe are experts, are more knowledgeable than me, to give me their input and their feedback on something before I then make a final decision. Because I want to have all the information I can. And while some people might say, then there's Google for that, but Google is human, just like everything else. That's technology. So if I believe the people in my circle have that information, I turn to them first. And my circle is not that big. You are and you will be the closest in that circle. So yes, definitely, I do rely and find it very important to link you first before making a lot of decisions. Not every decision, but definitely the ones that I believe that their input would best give you the best outcome.
Yeah. And would you say I influence your friendships? I don't know all your friends.
Friendships.
I don't know all your friends. I don't think I know all your friends. I know some of your friends, or I've met some of your friends, but I don't think I know them. Do you think I influence how you choose your friends?
I can't say yes and I can't say no. I can't say yes. Yes, I definitely no. I don't think they influence what I choose as a friend, because a lot of my friends are really the vibe. Just around them and a vibe and a connection built because something was happening in the moment, and I either helped them out or they had some kind of it's just a connection. It wasn't like we were actively just seeing each other and introducing and say, oh, you moved away here, so you are definitely my friend. It's just a connection in a moment, and that connection lead to other moments, and the connection is thankful, you know. So it's really just that. It's not to sit down and observe them and say, alright, this is something that looks like it can be a friendship. Just happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, as you know, me not really have too much people that I consider friend. Because as I said, I'm not a long-suffering friend. I'm a true friend. And one of the points I want to make before we end this is that being no longer friends with somebody don't have to be a bad thing. I am big on self-development and growth and evolution, and we all have our own destinies. And if at some point in the friendship we find that we are on two different journeys, it don't mesh, it's okay. If you feel like you want to cut me off, such a term, that's fine. You don't, that because we're no longer friends don't mean I'm your enemy.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing. We're just not on the same wave no more. We're not on the same frequency, and it's okay. It's not an animosity thing. It's not a I want to see you suffer thing. It's that we've grown apart and we no longer vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that. But so you find that the people who are able to I'm talking to some people now that have the same friend from them was going to school till now them up in age, and I'm like, wow, that's rare. That's very rare. It's rare when you find people can grow with you through all the stages and phases of life. So I feel like bringing it back to us now, we kind of stuck. So it's good that we can be true friends, because we are going to be here for each other, with each other throughout all the stages and phases of life. you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So, anyways, I think we have had a good chat, and if you have
As
anything
usual.
more to add, feel free. But as for me, I feel like that's it. So, blessings. Big up to each and every one. I don't know what's going on here. Yes, big up to each and every one. Thanks for checking out this conversation and join us for the next one in the series, True Friends series. And in the meantime, share, like, comment, subscribe, follow along. And if you need to, if you can relate to what we're talking about, feel free to give your perspective, your 2 cents, and join us for the next one. True friend.